So one of my really good friends, Rebecca, she invited me over for dinner, and we were gonna cook. And I was like, sure, whatever. That sounds great because I love cooking. We get to Kroger, we get our groceries, and I ended up leaving my wallet. So then she still ended up paying for the entire thing. And we ended up going back to her place, and we were gonna cook stuff. We start cooking, and then my phone rings, and it's, Jared. I'm over at Rebecca's. Oh, okay. What are you doing? Cooking? Can I have some? I guess. Sure. I guess. So then Jared comes over, and he's gonna eat dinner as well. So we cooked this awesome, fajita stuff with this onion sauce, and it was delicious. My stomach started to feel a little funny. But what I did do was I drank, a huge glass of mimosa. If you don't know what that is, it's like champagne and orange juice, and it's delicious. And remember, I had to call my mom for something important, so I told Rebecca if I could just go into the bathroom real quick, talk to my mom. I was attacked with a stomach ache, and I felt horrible, and so I kind of just sat down on the edge of their tub, and I was just like, I felt horrible. I was still on the phone with my mom, and it was the point where I would be talking, and then mid-conversation, and I'm like, whoa. So then I end up thinking that, maybe I have to, do number one. That always eases up the stomach. The moment I sit down and I start peeing, I felt this lump in my throat, and it just felt like vomit. And I was thinking to myself, this is the worst timing ever. I'm mid-peeing here, and now I feel like I have to throw up. Well, look around, and Rebecca's trash can's full of stuff and junk and trash, and I'm like, I can't just get up mid-peeing to throw up. And might I add, this happened in all 5 seconds. And so I see this sack on the floor, and I'm like, okay, that's gonna have to do. So I get the sack and I open it up, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm almost done peeing. Maybe I won't have to. Blah! And I ended up throwing up very quickly into a plastic sack. And I'm sitting on the toilet with my pants down, peeing, and then in both my hands, and in one hand I have my mom on hold on the phone, and in the other hand I just have a sack of vomit. And I was pissed. So I get off the phone with my mom, and I'm like, oh, what do I do? What do I do with this sack of vomit? I only number one at friend's house. I don't ever take a dump. I feel like that's rude. That's just me. I don't know. So I text Jared, and I'm like, Jared, when I tell you, you better be freaking ready to get up out here, because I need to go. I have to go. I have to take a big dump. I prep myself, and all of a sudden my stomach just boils, and then I let go of this. It was silent, but it was deadly. It was gas, and when I tell you it was atrocious, I mean, my nose hairs kind of just burnt off. It was pretty terrible. And I was like, oh my god, I don't want to take a dump in the bathroom. Oh my god, oh god. And so I started getting so nervous. I finished getting up off the toilet, and then I put my pants back on, and all the while still holding this sack of vomit. And I didn't want to be like, oh, hey, Rebecca, do you have anywhere I could put this sack of vomit? So I did the dumbest thing ever, and I poured the vomit into the toilet to flush it, because, then I'd have less vomit to deal with, and it would just be like a stinky sack. But then I still realized I still have the sack, and what was I supposed to do? Hey, Rebecca, what do I do with this empty sack that smells like vomit because I threw up in it but flushed it down the toilet? It's like no matter what version I came up with in my head, it just sounded horrible. So then I tied up the sack, and I found another sack on her floor, and I put that in another sack, and I just rumbled it all up because I did not want to keep that with me. So I kept it with me, and I ended up slipping it in my purse because I didn't want, I'm not going to leave this, sack of vomit in her bathroom. It's pretty disgusting. Take a deep breath, and I'm ready to go. So I walk out there and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, like nothing's happened. And then I see Jared, and I'm like, all right, Jared, I'm ready to go. We gotta go. Because my stomach was, let's just say that my stomach had a timer. Now, Jared's truck is pretty ginormous. It's not one of those little small tiny trucks. It's huge. I mean, it's like a tank. It's a 4-wheel and it's pretty old. So it's not a smooth ride. Rebecca lives about 5 to 10 minutes away from us, and I honestly didn't know if I could make it back to the apartment without my butt exploding. I mean, this situation was horrible. I was getting more and more evil. At first, we were just sitting there. Jared, hurry up. Jared, hurry up. And then one point, he turned and asked me, Courtney, are you okay? I said, hurry up! The truck was so bumpy and shaking me to death, and it was horrible. I literally had myself lifted up from the seat. I had one hand in the middle, and the other hand on this handle above where the door opens, and I was holding on and pulling myself up because I didn't want, you know, an accident in the truck. I finally go inside, and I didn't even have time to shut the door behind me in the bathroom. I just sat down in the toilet, and I just wanted to cry of relief and of just, it was the worst stomach ache I ever had in my entire life. I can't drink Pepto-Bismol or, you know, all that nasty stuff. For some reason, it just makes me throw up even more. So I can't drink any liquid forms of medicine. I have to take the pills. And I assume that Jared would have known this since we've been together for like 5 years. So then Jared comes back. He walks into the bathroom with his eyes closed. He hands me the Imodium, but they're chewable tablets. And I look up at Jared. Why? Why would you get me the chewable tablets? If I can't drink the liquid, what would make you think I could chew the medicine? And he's like, well, it was the first one I grabbed. I just saw Imodium and just kind of grabbed it. And I just like, I can't take this. And so he goes out again to get me the right Imodium. So while he's having fun driving to Walmart and getting the Imodium, I sounded like I was having a baby. Like 20 babies. Jared finally comes back and he has the Imodium tablets, and I take like 2, and I start feeling a little bit better. 2 or 3 hours of just constantly being in the bathroom, it finally stopped, and I was so exhausted. I was a penguin. That's the word I'm looking for. So I was basically a penguin after I came out of the bathroom, and it was like that for the whole night. I slept on my stomach for like the next 3 or 4 days, and to this day we still have those chewable tablets in the bathroom, and I don't think they're ever going to be used. So there's really no point to the story, guys, as most of my stories I'm going to tell you aren't going to have a point. But I just thought this would be a nice story to share with you guys, because now that I look back on it, it was pretty funny. Just as long as I don't ever have that ever happen to me again. Yeah.